in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Om Shanti. Shanti. Brothers and sisters, we welcome you all in the Saturday evening meeting of Shankar Lodge, Delhi, this 3rd day of July 2021. We are privileged that among us is Brother N.C. Krishna, a national lecturer, who will share his thoughts today on the topic the art of living and dying. Brother N.C. Krishna is a qualified chartered accountant by profession. He has joined the Theosophical Society at young age of 16 in the year 1966. He was uh, inspired after observing his maternal grandfather, who was staying in international headquarters of Theosophical Society at Adyar, Chennai itself. उनके नाना जी जो हैं वो मतलब उनसे बहुत इनको प्रेरणा मिली थी. Where brother N.C. Krishna ji was brought up in Adyar itself, he was brought up. He was later settled in Hyderabad. He is national lecturer appointed by Indian section Theosophical Society, Varanasi. He aspires to be remembered as a person who tried studying and living theosophy, which in other words may be termed as the divine wisdom. Now, without taking any more time, I request Brother M.C. Krishna ji to please take the mic and share the teaching of theosophy on the important aspect of the art of living and dying. Brother Krishna ji.
Dear brothers, we have spent some time in silence when we have prayed. Maybe post prayer, we spend some time in silence, right? So, what happens when we are silent? What happens when we are silent? So, it is said that we will perhaps know the nature of things we do not know. In silence, we get to know the nature of things which we do not know as things stand today. So, it's not easy to be silent, though we know the advantages of being silent or practicing silence. It is not easy to be silent. It is not easy to be silent. All the secrets of living and dying are revealed in silence. Face not visible. I don't know what to do. Sir, what should I do? My face is not visible, they say. Is it required or the voice is good enough? I don't know.
No, it's okay. Now it is okay.
Somebody is messaging that the face is not visible. More than the face, I guess the voice is, if it is clear, I think I'll be thankful to the
voice is clear.
Voice is very good, very good. I'm only expressing
because,
my.
If you find some difficulty, you just put off the video, and so that voice may be clear. Voice is clear. Okay.
Okay, but I have a small pedestal-like thing where I put my mobile, and I have been taught by Pradeep Mahapatra to put it horizontally, not vertically. You know, that way I believe it makes better sense. But I don't know how this Google works. But I'm wasting a lot of time. Now it's okay.
Now it is tilted. Now again you have to tilt it to make it correct. But because it's horizontal now, you have to be vertical.
Horizontal. Pradeep Mahapatra says horizontal is the correct way.
No, it is
horizontal is the correct way, says Pradeep Mahapatra. So to follow Mahapatra or to follow Mathur is the dilemma.
Okay. If it's difficult, okay.
I have to hold in my hand. My hands are not free. I normally use my hands while talking. So if I hold the phone, my hands become uh, they go out of equation. Anyway, I'll try my best. So we were talking about silence. When we are silent, we get to know the nature of things we do not know. When we are silent, we get to know the nature of things we do not know. Though we have the advantages of what is silence and what exactly happens when we are silent, it's not easy to be silent. It's not easy to be silent. All the secrets of living and dying are revealed in silence. All the secrets of living and dying are revealed in silence. Man has not been able to understand dying or, for that matter, death. This question is with us from times immemorial. This question is with us from times immemorial. There's a story of a mother approaching Lord Buddha, asking him to bring back her son who is dead and gone. And Buddha wanted her to bring a mustard seed from the house where death has not taken place. She couldn't produce that. And then she realizes death is something very common. There is another segment in Mahabharata where Yudhishthira is confronting the Yaksha. We have the Yaksha Prashnas. I believe so many questions were asked, but then something very interesting related to the subject is, what is the most wonderful thing? What is the strangest thing? Asks Yaksha. And Yudhishthira answers, the most amazing thing is that even though every day countless living beings or entities die, man still acts and thinks as if he will live forever. Man still acts and thinks as if he will live forever. This is the strangest thing, Yudhishthira says. So we have very many other stories like the Nachiketa who had a dialogue with Yama. So we have a lot of stories. So that's by the way. Death, even when it happens in the next house, maybe the same colony or in the flats where we are living, perhaps another flat, when it's happening there, people normally not well informed people who are busy with their material life, they will wish it. They will wish it. It may not visit them. There are families I know who think it is inauspicious to talk about death. There is a scripture called Garuda Purana out of the 18 Puranas Vedavyasa has written. This Garuda Purana is one, which talks about death and the after stages of death. Maybe it gives the details of hell. That is the story is all that produce there allegorical. It is only to dissuade a person to behave well, not to misbehave. That's the essence of the Purana. But families will not keep this book in their homes because they think that Purana is inauspicious or it gives scope for death to come into the house quickly. This is the belief of many people. In a way, actually, we're really scared of death. We're really scared of death. Yet, we push death into the background and move on living as if we're permanent factors on this face of earth. A small child of 12 years of age living nearby to the place where I live. Can you imagine? He committed suicide the other day by hanging just because the parents withdrew the mobile as he was playing some weird game. How does a 12-year-old knows how to end his life unnaturally? I was just shocked. The parents asked me, he telephoned me and said whether I'm responsible for my child's death. He was feeling guilty. Then I said, no, not exactly. But the child perhaps has not been taught how to take a no, how to take a no. This is something which we should teach our children, but we don't have such time to spend and teach the children what exactly they need to learn. Taking a no, because we keep buying out of our affection everything the child wants. And in the beginning, when the child is playing with the mobile, we're very happy. So we decide that he will not play with the mobile, then that upsets him. This is how the whole tragedy has happened. And we don't teach in schools or colleges how to live or die. That's not a subject at all. In fact, that is abhorred. That is not at all considered as a subject worth discussing. Why one should practice silence? This is one question which I keep on asking myself. If we have to apply our mind, the higher mind especially, and meditate on a subject, and we want to push all the rest of the questions to the background and focus our attention only on the question which you have uppermost in our mind, we're able to do better. We're able to focus better. We're able to concentrate better and perhaps locate the answers or find out the answers with much better ease. That's perhaps the reason why we all need sessions of silence. Sessions of silence. We call it meditation or silence. The choice is yours. There is a Shanti mantra which is oft repeated in our meetings, or it is published in the books. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Ruchyorma Amrutangamaya. It goes on. So, what does it say? That mantra says, lead us from unreal to real. Sat. Sat. What Sat? That beingness which Madam Blavatsky talked about. From Asat, lead me to Sat. From Asat, lead me to Sat. Introduce me to that beingness. That's perhaps the prayer. But we dilute it. Okay, that's our choice again. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Lead us from darkness to light. This is also not moving from darkness to the place where light is. What exactly it means, interpretation which I am making. Lead me from avidya to enlightenment. Lead me from avidya to enlightenment. Mruchyormam amrutangamaya. So, lead me from death to immortality. Immortality is living forever. This is what man wants. Man doesn't know that there is a portion of him which lives forever, at least relatively forever. Because Madam Blavatsky says, even 7 eternities leading to that 7 eternities. So it's only relative. So immortality is also relative. Amruta, the word Amruta or Amrutam in Sanskrit also means nectar, for which Devas and Asuras fought, and there was a churning which took place in the milk ocean, they say. That's also allegory. But that churning is taking place in our hearts every moment. And that's perhaps our Kurukshetra, the fighting between the right and the wrong, etc. Then we are concerned with death. What is death? How do we understand death? Why don't we see the people physically after their death? What prevents us from seeing? Theosophically speaking, the vital energy, the prana tattva, which animated the physical body, has left the physical body. The vital energy was housed in the etheric double. After that, physical body and etheric double lived for that incarnation. The physical body has grown relatively old, maybe, if it is a question of death. by the natural cause, and it is falling away after exhausting the last bit of vital energy. After exhausting the last bit of vital energy. The etheric double also suffers death. Maybe the physical distance, what separates the place of fall of the physical body and the etheric double is about 20 to 25 feet, says Master C.W. Leadbeater in his textbook of Theosophy. Also, the silver card that was connecting both the bodies, the physical and the etheric double, gets snapped. That's death as per our textbooks. But how does the medical science describe this process, this biological process of the life ebbing away, that is dying or death? How does medical science describe it? They say the breathing stops, the heart stops functioning, the pulses come down to naught. But in the case of accidents, people go through what is called the clinical death, or they are called brain dead. That's at the point of time when the family members are approached to harvest the organs which can function somebody else. So we have the clinical death, we have the actual death as per the medical science. So this brain dead person is breathing but cannot be revived. So there are natural deaths, unnatural deaths. The boy who died the other day died unnaturally, and a lot of people who die naturally. The body after death, because the life spark, the undivided spark has gone, is called Deha or Preta. That's the name given in all the mantras which are uttered while doing the obsequies. They don't no longer use the name of the person, they call him Preta. So this is what happens after the death. And if you observe, it is only human beings who have problems either living or dying. It is only human beings who have problems either living or dying. The animals, the trees, the birds do not worry about either living or dying. They move on. It is difficult to go through the moments when someone close to us has passed away. It's very difficult to go through the moments because we are so used to that person's physical presence and he's gone. So we're not able to come to terms with that absence of his. And we call the person by name when he's living. And as I said some time back, we call it Dehar Preta. And quickly, even perhaps the closest members of the family would like to dispose of the body. Of course, these days they preserve it because somebody has to travel all the way from US or UK to see the body. But otherwise, in the good old days, it used to be cremated before dawn, before dusk, before the sun goes down. So everyone has limited span of life. Everyone will have to die. In Sanskrit, we say mrutya. Mrut means dying. So the root word for deha in Sanskrit is dahyati, the one which gets burnt. So this is the best way to dispose of the body, says Theosophy. Best way to dispose of the body is to burn it so that it quickly gets back to the source, the Panchabhutas. Yes, there are other methods by which the dead body is disposed of, but the best way, Theosophy says, is to cremate. Right. Nobody knows really what exactly death is because we're all living. But we know some portion of it, maybe by someone describing who had perhaps the near death experience, etc., etc. Something like this. We have heard a story of blind people trying to understand how an elephant looks like, how an elephant looks like. So they are touching each organ of the elephant, and each one claims that he knows what an elephant is. So most of us perhaps also have the same feeling because we do not know the details of death. But there are few exceptions of persons who are erudite and meditative. They're able to see the death coming, not predict, I mean, but they know the death is approaching. Recently, a person whom we used to call Venkanna Guru, because his name is Venkanna, Guru is teacher, well known to our family. And he asked his sons to put him on the ground, put him on the mat, because they don't consider passing away. Sleeping on the cot is good. So he wanted them to put him on the mat. And after he was transferred onto the mat, just in about 10 minutes, he passed away. His sons, wife, daughter, and the rest of the members of the family were perplexed. His daughter told us that there was a huge smile on his face. So he wasn't scared of death, looks like. Post death, post death, this person, incidentally, is not a member of the Theosophical Society, but he's a scholar of Sanskrit, one who practiced the contents of Bhagavad Gita. He used to say, we feel we have a lot of time. We have had a lot of discussions on Lalita Sahasranama, Bhagavad Gita, and so many things. So he used to say that we feel that we have a lot of time. He says, we have borrowed his time. His means God's time. So we should be ready for the event when we call back any time. So that was his approach to death. So we're always trying to know the unknown. We don't know what exactly death is. So we're trying to know the unknown and try to bring the unknown to the known arena. Known arena. The art of accommodating others' opinions. The art of accommodating others' opinions is the way to go forward. Somebody says something about death, you listen to it and keep it in your receptacle. Somebody else adds something, you also allow that view to be taken into the receptacle. See, this is how you can perhaps get over a period of time the various details of death. Unfortunately, I'm saying this, even in this, the Theosophical Society, the people who are presenting the ideas, presenting the theosophy, they are still presenting in dogmatic way. And Madame Blavatsky never wanted dogmatic presentation of theosophy. You might say that perhaps this is the way, perhaps this is the way. You may say so, but we simply come down and say, this is this. So that's exactly what I'm saying, that people who are presenting theosophy, they're presenting it in a dogmatic way. So we should start saying that I know, but I will also accept that others know. That's the way in which we have to accommodate others. We don't give in. We are holding on to our opinions. This is the problem we have, even as members of the Theosophical Society. We should know how to let go. How to let go. This is a cliched expression, isn't it? You have heard it a number of times because J. Krishnamurti used it, and many people use it without even understanding what exactly it means, let go. So we should know how to let go. This cliched expression having in
Apparently connection is lost. कृष्णा जी को अभी 1 मिनट में क्या नाम आ गया, ठीक है, ओके, कंटिन्यू.
is it there? Is it audible now?
Yes,
Hello.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, brother.
Okay. So a person holding on to various things, not letting it go. He's having difficulty in dying. So he can't die to his possessions, his expectations, his family, his wealth, etc. If we let go, that's what he meant. If we let go, then it is easy to die. This is what he meant by saying, let go. And all people know, all people know that death is inevitable, but they may not acknowledge it. But that all of us know we're going to die is a fact well established. Actually, we are covered by the skin, there are bones, nerves, brain, senses, all these and some more vital organs put together, perhaps is man, physical man. Then Dehi is in Deha, is a sight we can look at, wonder, and especially when we look at a baby trying to walk, uttering two-letter words to begin with. In fact, my granddaughter spoke sentences when she was only 1.5 years old. It was an amazing thing for us. So, this is what I'm saying. The whole life is full of miracles and a lot of things which we can enjoy. So, look at the baby trying to walk, uttering two-letter words to begin with. Is it not a wonder how a kid is able to do all this on its own? No body has taught that kid how to talk, how to walk. All this is part of growth, evolution, and it's part of His plan, God's plan. He knows when the doll should work, when the doll should play, and when the man should not work, not play. That means not live. So, the time when we are born, the time to depart also is fixed. Some people talk in terms of the molecules. So the molecule of death is also there, the molecule of life is also there. But we don't realize it, that's all. So then, the fundamental question, why do we live? Why do we live? Why are we born? Not just to die, there's a purpose and meaning for life. True, we don't discuss death, as said earlier, in our drawing rooms. We feel it is not a good thing, but it is the most natural thing. So all natural things are good things. All natural things are good things. All natural things are good things. A new beginning, a new beginning. When we are close to nature, when we are close to nature, when we observe nature, we get so many things to learn. So many things to learn. When we look at nature very intently, we find the change, mutation is a natural thing. We have to change. We have to change, accept the change, and move on. We can't resist change. This is the lesson we have to learn by observing the nature. Infant, in fact, becomes a child becomes a teenager, goes to school, a teenager becomes an adult, maybe goes to office, and then as time passes, the middle age happens, and from the middle age, he gets into old age, and that old age, perhaps, he has to lay down his life and he dies. So, it is the process is something which happens naturally. When it has become too difficult to hold on to the body which has become old or he has become weary, he has become tired, that's the time he leaves the body. That's, in fact, a method in which God relieves him. How do we leave the body is the most important factor. How do we die is the most important factor. That's the art. Do we slip into the next stage of consciousness or we resist? The choice is ours, but a lot of people resist. It is possible to practice that art when I'm not resisting. If I'm resisting, I'm not an artist anymore. I'm not natural anymore. So it is possible to practice that art when I'm not resisting. Isis Unveiled, the first major book written by HPV, says the Almighty knows or is conscious when a tree sheds a leaf, when a tree sheds a leaf, a single leaf, mind you. So the leaf is not resisting, it has lost the capacity to make chlorophyll. It's not green anymore, so becomes brown, dry, and the leaf falls. Have anyone see? Have anyone has got the opportunity to see when the leaf is falling and the leaf falls to the ground as if it is dancing down its way, as if the leaf is dancing down and falling onto the ground. That's how it dies because it is not afraid of death. In autumn, we see all the leaves of the tree fall. Even without leaves, the tree looks beautiful. It is a photographer's dream. So many photographers have got prizes showing a tree without leaves. At Adyar, it is possible to observe such life patterns. The leaf did not resist. The flower did not mind all the leaves going down. Similarly, the flower may be also, it could be a rose, the queen. It lives for about 24 hours, smiling brightly at the onlookers. Normally, it will fall at the root of the rose plant. Imagine a greedy onlooker is not resting with looking at the flower, but plucks the flower. Still, the flower doesn't resist, tries to smile, though the life of 24 hours is perhaps cut short. And it tries to look at the onlooker and smile because it is not angry with that person who has plucked. It dies happily. Then take another case of a bird which sings so many songs in the morning. Have you any time listened to the whistle bird, the bird which whistles? Yes, it is close to nature, it is part of nature, and it's enjoying the nature. So it whistles its way. It lives from moment to moment. It lives from moment to moment. When the time comes, the bird happily dies. The bird has no plans for the next day. Man plans for the next day, next year, and wants to earn perhaps for the next few generations. Bird has no such baggage when it dies. It has lived well, a complete life, dies peacefully. Can we say the same thing about man? Even if his bank balance is followed by one followed by eight zeros, he goes. He cannot stay back just because he has got money. Whether he likes it or not, he becomes a big zero when he leaves this place. Zero from the point of view of physical wealth or material wealth. So bird happily dies, it doesn't know death is a new beginning. Still it happy, but it makes an exit joyfully. Same is the case with animals. But human being doesn't want to leave all that is his creation of relationships, properties, wealth, etc. It is that attachment to things which is the cause of human to suffer the pangs of death. That is where man is not able to take a leaf out of the book of the nature and is not able to die gracefully. He doesn't practice the art. There is grace when you dance. So there is no grace because that person hasn't got that art in him. So, not able to practice the art of dying, like he's not able to practice the art of living. So, we're not scared. We're not scared. The person who is an artist is not scared. And it is said in the Theosophical literature, sleeping is a very natural thing. We're not scared of sleeping, right? Hitting the bed, say at 10 o'clock or 10:30 in the night. We do sleep. In Theosophical literature, we say sleep is the sister of death. We can die with grace, practice that art of dying when we are close to the nature and learn the lessons out of nature. See how nature takes care of beings and takes more care when that being is passing away. Are we aware of this? Yes, it takes more care when that being is passing away into higher streams of consciousness. Actually, death is a beautiful thing. Death helps us to move on. If one has lived fully, moment to moment, without attachment, no hoarding of anything, he can die peacefully. Whatever we have, we still are lacking, we still have a list of things to acquire, then we are always feeling deficient. We have expectations from our human associations and relationships. A person with deficiencies and still wanting human expectations is not a person who can die happily. He cannot die happily because he has got these attachments. He's still seeking. A seeking beggar can never be happy. A seeking mind cannot be happy. At the cost of his health, he earns, spends the same money to save himself when he gets into the hospital to save himself. When any amount of money can't save him, he dies rather unhappily. A person who is content, a person who is content, Anibison says, contentment is a continuous feast. So, a person who is content, draws a line, has no expectations from anyone, dies peacefully. We have the former president of India, Abdul Kalam, who passed away doing something which he loved, lecturing to youngsters. Another great person in my life, about whom Mathurji has mentioned, slipped into death holding Bhagavad Gita in his hand and doing the thing which he liked most, spreading theosophy, the message of theosophy till his last breath. These people have mastered the art of dying because they knew the art of living. So, this is about the art of dying. So, do we have time, Mathurji, to talk about art of living?
Yes, sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because I don't know how much time I've taken because,
No, time is going.
okay. So, a person who knows the art of living, he also knows the art of dying. The converse is also true. The person who knows the art of dying lives fully. So, this is the whole essence of it. So, this is something which we have to keep in our minds. So, the second half of the topic, in fact, I should have started with living, but I thought of talking about something which we do not know first. We all assume that we know how to live. Do we know how to live? I have a doubt. So, the second half, the topic is the art of living. And we think we know the art of living. We merely exist. We don't live. We merely exist. We don't live. There is difference between existence and living. So, most of the time, this question has been asked by all the philosophers. Do we live at all? Live fully? Live completely? The difference between existing and living, have we realized? And the difference will be clear to someone who can think and contemplate. Am I living fully, completely, or I'm just pushing? I'm just pushing. Like some person who is working in the office, who's pushing the pen, but he's not working in the real sense of the term. So, am I pushing myself? Am I just existing, or am I living? There's a difference, great, huge difference. So, this is something which we can understand, provided we think about it, contemplate about it. We are mechanically living, like a machine. We are mechanically living. So, mostly we read about living, we don't study, so it doesn't get into our system. We read about living. Having read about the art of living, heard about the art of living, because Jiddu Krishnamurti has spoken about the art of living number of lectures, the art of listening. Perhaps every time he came to lecture, he talked about the art of listening. So there are a lot of people who have taught. Blavatsky also talked about the art of living, how to be theosophical, what exactly theosophical means, theosophical life means, what is altruism. We talked all that. When we know all this, when at least we have read all this, why are we not attempting to live? Why hearing and reading is not making a difference in our lives? Because the essence has not got into us. Our mind is preoccupied and not focused as to how to live. In the monotonous way we live, our mind has become dull. Our mind or man has become dull. It is not receptive. But Shankaracharya says, Adi Shankara says, man has got two wings. If you compare man to a bird, he has got two wings, Viveka and Vichakshana. So we have to use these wings. We have to use these wings and use this mind which has been given to us. Because mind is there, we're called Man. Man is Manusha. So there are so many options available for us. So we have to choose wisely. We have to choose wisely our option. The lower mind is quite capable of creating differences. We are most of the time functioning in the lower mind. Mostly we function, live, exist using our lower mind. The lower mind thinks more about myself, my job, my career, my home, my wife, my goals, my ambitions. So it's all about my, and me. So it is almost all living to promote myself. It is all living or existing to promote myself. In other words, I live from my standpoint of view. I will not accommodate the other's point of view. I want to achieve. Maybe there is nothing wrong in that. My God. Somebody is calling and disturbing me for quite some time. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
brother.
Yes, please audible.
I'm sorry. Somebody has been repeatedly calling. I have not picked the phone, but he adopted some other means to come into the line. So I'm sorry for the disturbance. And it puts a halt in the thought process which we are going through. And I live promoting myself. In other words, I live for my own. My God. I live from my standpoint, a selfish viewpoint. I want to achieve. Maybe the idea is not wrong. Achieving perhaps is not wrong. But the means adopted to achieve, the means adopted to achieve is perhaps what we need to be very careful about. Right means of livelihood. Is it that which we are adopting, or something somehow we want to achieve the goal? And in this process of somehow, we dislocate a lot of people, we trample on the toes of a lot of people, we use the violent thoughts, words, and deeds. We are full of malice and hatred. So, this is what we are living with. We are existing. It's not living. Should we come down to live this sort of life? So, why is our life full of struggles and competition? Why not cooperation? So, we desire to excel, all right, and in the process, our mind is getting polluted. Where want mind, because it is polluted, deteriorates. Is there a way we all can lead a life without selfishness? Is there a way? What should I do, Mathurji? This fellow is chasing me. This is the seventh call he's making. Should I call him and then get back into the line? Because
Yes, yes. Whatever you think fit.
this fellow is troubling you, because 7 times I've refused his call, he's coming back again.
Okay, please you just attend and brother, just within a minute he's just coming. Let him attend the call.
I've come back after disposing him off.
Please, please.
But if someone, I'm sorry, all these are all, I didn't expect this to happen. But yes, this is how life is. Is there a way we all can lead a life without selfishness, without ambition, without rivalry? Can we lead a simple life, uncomplicated life? We will have to. అక్కడ ఎవడు చూడు వాడు ఏఎంసీ వాడు ఉన్నాడు వస్తున్నాడు వాడు నా ప్రాణం తీస్తున్నాడు. We'll have to start early. Children should learn how to cooperate. Children should learn how to cooperate and not compete. This is something which children should learn. This should be taught in the schools to cooperate, not compete. Our education system is promoting competition, and children are dying because they're not able to take the stress. How can we teach our child to share, to cooperate, to care? This is something which is very important. Then most of these untoward incidents may not happen. The work has to start there at the school. At to the parents. Can I spend time with my child to make him understand what it means to care and love? We can, provided we have time and a strong inclination to spend quality time with the child. We can, provided we have time and a strong inclination to spend quality time with the child. That will set the ball in motion. And then the child will start living, not existing. It will start living. Teach the child to be thorough and not force the child or goad the child to get the first rank. Teach the child to be thorough and not goad the child or force the child to get the first rank. Before we teach the child, we should practice the right way of growing ourselves. Or becoming somebody somehow is not what we should do. We should grow without dislodging anyone or anything for that matter. If we practice this, if it becomes a way of life for us, then the child will follow suit. Light on the Path says, the small book says, kill out ambition and work like those who are ambitious. We know the theory, we don't practice it. Do we rightly understand the theory? I guess so, but maybe because we don't study, we don't understand well. We have compartmentalized our lives. We have an official life, we have a retired life, we have a family life, we have a spiritual life. The spiritual life is perhaps 1 hour in the morning or weekly satsang or a session so that we think about God or do some bhajan and things like that. So we have compartmentalized our life. And HPB says we shall live a holistic life. We shall live a holistic life to reach our goal of perfect evolution and perfection. We need an integrated life. The spiritual life is realized as the most important segment of our life? Can we spiritualize our official life, our family life, etc.? Can we do that? Can we spiritualize our official life, our family life, etc.? Can we empty our mind completely in meditation and look at the world, look at the people with an open mind? Can we practice tolerance? These days, intolerance has become the watchword. Can we practice tolerance? Can we love others in spite of their being uncharitable to us? Can we love others in spite of their being uncharitable to us? Can we live without criticizing, gossiping about others? Can we carry the meditative experience we gather in our meditation? మీరు చంపుతున్నాడు రా, మీరు ఏం చేయలేరా? ఎట్లా నేనేమను మాట్లాడుతున్నా కదా, లెక్చర్ ఇస్తున్నా కదా. 9-10 లెక్చర్లు చంపుతున్నాడు వాడు. ఒకసారి చెప్పేవాడికి
हाँ राजीव जी बड़े माथुर साहब डिस्टरबेंसेस बहुत है।
एक्चुअली उनको कोई फोन आ रहा था, वो जस्ट अभी आ जाते हैं. जस्ट
जी
वेट, इज जस्ट कमिंग and he is
What is
almost
built their
wrapped
feel
up.
like as every other tea. No problem,
Yes.
sir. So that we'll wait for him.
Yes, I've come back. I'm sorry. This is something which is not happening at my behest. Somebody else is disturbing us. So I'm
No
pleading,
problem, sir. No problem.
I'm pleading for uh, mercy, I would say. Yes. Can we carry the meditative experience into our daily life, the daily course of our life? Can we live from moment to moment, not in the past or the uncertain future? If if we apply ourselves, we can do it. If we apply ourselves, we can do it. When I started driving a car, I could not shift my attention from the steering and from the road. Now I drive very easily, talking to my companion in the car, look at ad boards, change the gears, stop at traffic signals. How am I able to do all this? Because I have learned the art of driving a car. Can I practice similarly the art of living by removing self centeredness? This is the most important thing. Can I remove the self centeredness and thus practice the art of living? Pettiness, which is dominating me, can I remove that? And think in terms of everyone's welfare and not my welfare. That's same thing as removing self centeredness. Really wish when I get up in the morning that everybody should do well. All living creatures should do well. This is what HB wants us in that small book, The Practical Occultism. So then, if I practice all this, like I've practiced my driving the car, if I leave, eschew self-centeredness, if I leave my petty-mindedness, and think in terms of everybody's welfare, then I would be perhaps practicing the art of living. Art of living, it's in my hands. If I know how to live well, I will know how to die well. A person who lives well, he will also know how to die well. Thank you.
Thank you, brother N.C. Krishna ji. You have very clearly explained the art of letting go, number one, and also the art of living fully. We may call it king-size living. According to tenets of Theosophy, as you said, there is urgent need of life to master the art of living and dying, and living from moment to moment. Now, we may ask others to please add or just comment something. Brother Mahapatra ji.
No, Dr. N.C. Ramanachari, he is in the line. He may speak
Just,
something.
Acha, he is also there.
Yeah, he is on the video on. He is there.
Yeah. Uh, Ramanujachari ji, are you hearing us? Ramanujachari ji, please. Ramanujachari ji, brother Ramanujachari ji.
He is speaking something. I don't know whether it is not audible.
Ramanujachari ji.
Yes,
He
he is.
is there, but
Yeah.
perhaps he is not hearing. Ramanujachari ji.
No, he is speaking something.
But not audible.
नहीं
Pradeep ji.
उनका माइक ऑफ है ऐसा लग रहा है.
या उनका माइक ऑफ है.
हाँ जी हाँ उन्हें कॉल करके बताएं कि आप माइक ऑन करें.
तो माइक
That is
ऑन
not
करने
possible. That is not possible.
हाँ उन्हें कॉल करके बताएं.
Not
माथुर जी
possible.
आप बताइए. माथुर जी बताइए कॉल करके कि आप माइक ऑन करें.
मैं देखता हूँ अगर वो उठाते हैं तो फोन.
Meanwhile, others can perhaps add their remarks.
हाँ. महापात्रा जी आप बताइए.
Yeah, his son-in-law there. His son-in-law is now available. Probably he will rectify.
Yes, I am Ramanujachari here.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Namaskar.
Good evening. Yes, you wanted something from me now?
Yeah. Please, Ramanujachari ji, please comment.
Yes. What do you want me to say?
Nothing.
Anything you want to add, because you have come today, very nice, after very long time.
No, I have been following all your meetings.
Yes.
Perhaps you have not noticed it.
Yeah, I'm always sending you, but
No,
today.
the point is the basic advantage of this COVID-19 is we are able to communicate people, listeners from all over the country, not limited to our lodge and our branch.
Yeah, very nice.
It is outside country
That is
also.
one of the silver lines of the epidemic.
Yeah.
So the point I want to make is, if we know how to live, then we will know how to die. After all, life and death are not two different things. They are only two stages of our consciousness. And my theory is, of course, not my theory I have derived from myself is, body or nobody, your work is the same. You may have the body now, you may have a different body. Even now you have 7 bodies, you don't remember that. But the whole point is, body or nobody, our work is the same. So if the work is pointed out and conscious of the man or human being, as you would like to say, then there is no difference between life and death. After all, there are two phases of life. Universal life has two phases. Life is one thing, death is another thing. They are not two different things, they are the same. Normally people say if a person has died, he is reborn in some other place. Of course, that is too metaphysical. But the point I want to make is, we must be conscious of knowing how to live. And we are here forever. Once you have taken individual body, we have no choice. We have to live till the end of the kalpa. I hope I am very clear on that.
Thank you,
Are
brother.
you hearing me? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
That is the same essence I have also put in my talk. Living
That is true.
and dying go together.
We are here forever. Till the end of the kalpa, we are there. Body or nobody, it makes no difference. Life and death are not two different things, they are the same thing. Obverse and reverse. There are no two sides at all, because life is one. You can't fragment it. You may phenomenally do that, but fragmentation is wrong. So thank you for asking me to give my views. I think I have talked too much already. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Thank you, brother Ramanujacharya ji. Anybody? Pradeep ji?
My only point, I must congratulate Dr. N.C. Ramanujan sir, who was very well accumulated this theosophical ideas in a daily life, how we live, how we will be proceed in our day-to-day life, giving a beautiful example of a driving car when we will practice it. And I am very much grateful one of senior most member, Dr. N.C. Ramanujacharya, giving some hints on how a theosophist, for a theosophist, death and life, as such, it is a same thing. We can say it is a two sides of a coin. But sir, I am adding that actually there is no death at all for a theosophist. It is life, as Dr. N.C. Ramanujan sir told us that life is one. So what is going at a lower level is discarding our vestures, our bodies. Then because of the divine law of reincarnation, karma, etc. So we are taking birth again to reach a particular stage of consciousness, so that there will be no further reincarnation. That is a very good theosophy members should know it, that this divine law guiding everything, not only it is guiding the whole universe, even planet and other things, also a sect and also the human being. With these words, I must congratulate senior brother like Dr. N.C. Ramanujacharya sir and brother N.C. Krishna. That's all. Thank you. Thank you.
हाँ माथुर साहब मैं कुछ बोलना चाह रहा था.
हाँ बिल्कुल 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 बोलिए. थैंक यू
हाँ
वेरी
जी.
मच.
जी हाँ.
माता जी रामानुजाचार्य जी, राम कृष्ण जी,
जी हाँ. हाँ जी, सभी को नमस्कार. और मैं जो है हिंदी में बोलूँ, हिंदी. हेलो.
यस.
हाँ, कृष्णा जी ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से इस चीज को डिराइव किया. और लेकिन एक हमारे किसी मित्र ने बताया था कि जैसे पानी का झरना बहता है, इसी तरह से जीवन की एक निरंतरता होती है. तो ये सौ गौन पानी का आप एक जगह बैठ करके निरीक्षण करिए, नदी बह रही है तो कौन सा कण कहाँ चला गया, एक रेगुलरिटी है जीवन में. ये इस तरह से हमें किसी ने समझाया था. और बाकी बड़ा अच्छा लगा जो आपने कहा. और N.C. रामानुजाचार्य जी ने जो कहा था कि जो है वो आपकी कॉन्शियसनेस वो जीवन है, वो बहुत अच्छा लगा. धन्यवाद. थैंक यू.
शिंदे जी आप प्लीज कुछ कमेंट करेंगे. शिंदे जी, हेलो. शिंदे जी भी जुड़े हैं हमारे साथ. हाँ शिंदे जी.
Hello. Okay. I enjoyed the talk of N.C. Krishna. Very nice. Good. It is always important to listen about the life and death. And as Ramanujacharya has pointed out, they are not two, they are one. You may call them as the two poles, but there is no discontinuity. Life is death is the beginning of next life. So I can say only thing here. Our original nature is not void nor voidlessness. Our original nature is not pure nor impurity. Our original nature has got no form nor formless. So my original nature is my own essence, the supreme truth. And therefore knowledge and absence of knowledge do not apply to my original nature. My own nature is not born of knowledge or lack of knowledge. So, what is this? Nirvana is my very essence. And therefore, no state of liberation, no state of bondage, no merit, no demerit. Self is same in all. That is what we have to learn from such talks. Life and death are one, and we all are one. There is no division in the life. That is what just I want to add. Otherwise, I am to congratulate N.C. Krishna. He has given a very nice talk.
Can I say something, Mathurji? I'm Krishna. Can I say something?
Sure, sir.
I have used the word beingness. This is perhaps in a way Mr. Shinde is trying to. I've used the word beingness. Beingness. So Sat. I have used the word. So this is one. And I have never differentiated between death and life. They are definitely part of it. But we should know if we live fully, we can die fully. So life, living and dying we are always scared. Though we may say, I am not scared of death and all that. But then the exact moment, can we release ourselves completely without resisting is the point. So why are we resisting? Because we have all the attachments. So without the attachments, if you have led a life fully with a contentment and all that, I think we can leave this body easily. So we are only just describing the process of dying, the art of dying, the art of living. We have not gone into the discussion of life is separate, death is separate. We are not talking about that at all. We are only saying how to perfect this art, of living. And if we perfect the art of living, we know how to die. This is what I wanted to convey.
Thank you, brother Shinde ji. Thank you, brother Krishna ji, प्रदीप जी, रामानुजाचार्य जी. किसी और ने कुछ कोई बोलना है? आप हरबंश जी कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
हाँ जी.
तो बोलिए सर, बोलिए.
मैं बड़ी दिलचस्पी से सुन रहा था what was going on. I just want to make comments from two couplets of an Urdu poet. You see, the whole discussion which takes place, we are dependent on what we are. So the essence of all this life, death, living is on the understanding or the basic nature of self. And as we understand in our own little way in which we are trying to meditate, that within our consciousness there are so many layers of eyes. The emotional eye is there, the physical eye is there, the discriminating eye is there, and like that. So there is one Urdu poet who has depicted this sort of a phenomena in very beautiful terms. And it says, मैं ख्याल हूँ किसी और का, मुझे सोचता कोई और है. मैं ख्याल हूँ किसी और का. That means actually the deepest I in me is a sort of an ideation of some of the higher beings. मैं ख्याल हूँ किसी और का, मुझे सोचता कोई और है. And when I say I think, this I is quite different from that which has created that sort of ideation within my deepest I. And then there is a very important statement over there. When we say I, and what is this I? Actually, it's only a sort of a image of a little part of the universal mind. So it says, सरे आईना मेरा अक्स है. What is being presented is just a small portion of the shadow of my real self. Sare aina, aina means mirror, मेरा अक्स है, पस्से आईना कोई और है. Just as in the mirror we see our form and we say this is what we are, and yet there is a feeling that behind the mirror there is somebody else than this mere form which is being seen. So this is the story of our sort of working of the mind and the meditative mind and the impressions which this meditative come. And then I will just add one more. अजब एतबारे बेएतबारी, अजब एतबारो बेएतबारी के दरमियान है जिंदगी. एतबारी and बेएतबारी means to have a firm belief and a firm non-belief. अजब एतबारो बेएतबारी के दरमियान है जिंदगी. This life is living within what we are actually believing, accepting, and that in the next moment what we are disbelieving and rejecting. मैं करीब हूँ किसी और के, मुझे जानता कोई और है. This is what it is all about. मैं करीब हूँ किसी और के. I am nearer to my ordinary caught mind of desires and emotions of all lower nature. मैं करीब हूँ किसी और के, मुझे जानता कोई और है. But really speaking, I do not know myself. That which is the deepest consciousness in me, I have a feeling that really he alone knows. And this is actually a very good couplet. About 8 are there. I don't think I have had time. On some other occasion, I'll discuss some others.
Thank you, brother Harbans Singh ji, for contributing.
वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु.
भुवन भटनागर जी,
माथुर जी.
हाँ हाँ बोलिए बोलिए.
हाँ, आज का एनसी कृष्णा जी ने बहुत अच्छा इस पर प्रकाश डाला है. मैं इसमें एडिशन करता हूँ कि संत कबीर ने 2 लाइनों में ये आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग को वर्णित किया है. उन्होंने बताया है कि जब हम इस जग में आए तो हम रोए जग हंसे, और जब हम यहाँ से विदा हो गए तो हम हंसे जग रोए. तो मनुष्य का पूरा जीवन मृत्यु कितना बड़ा महोत्सव हो, इस दिशा में अगर मनुष्य जीता रहे तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग में जीता है. जब मनुष्य पैदा होता है तो शायद किसी कोने में किसी ताली बजाने को भी कोई नहीं रहता, लेकिन उतना मृत्यु कई लोगों को डिस्टर्ब कर जाता है, कई लोगों के आंखों में आंसू ला लेता है. ऐसी जिंदगी जो जीता है वो सही अर्थों में मृत्यु को ही साधना समझ के अपना जीवन जीता है कि जब मेरा डेथ हो तो ऐसा हो, एक महोत्सव हो, और इस दिशा में पूरे जीवन की जो लाइन डाल के जीना जीता है, यही आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग है. ऐसा मुझे लगता है. मेरे बुद्धि से मैंने इसको ये करने की कोशिश की कि पूरी जीवन जो हम जीते हैं वो एक साधना है, और हमारा मृत्यु कितना बड़ा उत्सव हो, महोत्सव हो, इस दिशा में किया हुआ जीवन का सारा प्रयास वो आपका एक सर्टिफिकेट बन जाता है. तो मृत्यु ऐसा हो कि हम चले तो जब हम गए तो हम हंसे जग रोए. यही जीवन है, यही आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग है, ऐसा मेरा मानना है. थैंक यू.
कबीर जी कहते हैं ऐसी करनी कर चलो आप हंसो जग रोए. जी बात कर्म पर है, फिर वो कर्म पर आ गया, कर्म सिद्धांत. धन्यवाद.
थैंक यू. अब हम प्रेयर करते हैं. नेक्स्ट टॉक हमारा 10 जुलाई को पतंजलि योग सूत्र के ऊपर कंटिन्यूड रहेगा। डॉक्टर राजीव गुप्ता जी हमारे सेक्रेटरी लॉज के वो लेंगे। 10 जुलाई 2021 समय वही रहेगा 5:30 बजे। लेट प्रे। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामय, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, न कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्। ओम शांति शांति शांति।